Hi, I'm Dr. Gritter, and I'm not going to be at children's literature for the first two classes, so I'm going to send you some brief videos kind of filling you in on information, and for this first little video I want to go over the syllabus with you. So you can kind of follow along with me. I know the syllabus is pretty long. It's actually 16, 17 pages. So I'm just going to go over some of the key things that you need to know about. So this is EDRD. It's a reading class for elementary education majors. I know a lot of people are not elementary education majors, but you should know that the focus is for elementary education majors. EDRD 3516, Children's Literature. First of all, our class is not going to be in Otto Miller 227. There are, I think, 33, 34 students enrolled, so it's going to be in Crawford 103 so that there are enough desks for all of the students. So make sure that you don't show up at Otto Miller 227, but you show up at Crawford 103. This class meets twice a week, Mondays and Wednesdays from 9:30 to 10:50, which is a good change from previous years when it met for about 3 hours per class session. It got to be very long, so the smaller chunks I think will lead to more optimal learning. The final is on a Wednesday, June 11, from 8 to 10 in the morning, so it's at a different time than the regular class session. So my name is Dr. Chris Gritter. You can make appointments with me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Usually Friday I stay home and work from home, but I'm pretty available as long as you make an appointment with me first. I also tend to meet with students before or after class if you have a question. My email is grittk @spu.edu. First of all, if you have a disability, make sure that you have contacted the Disability Support Service in the Center for Learning for accommodations. So it's your responsibility to do that, and then they notify me if you need some extra time or various other accommodations. Please take a look at the SPU School of Education Diversity Statement. We want to make sure in this class we honor the diversity of God's creation in this class. I'm now on page 2. Regarding course evaluations, I asked students the last day of class to bring in their laptop and to do a course evaluation on site, and that way I get close to 100% feedback on my course evaluations. I'd like you to look at page 2 for the course description. This course is intended to prepare you to introduce children's literature from kindergarten through 8th grade students. And you're going to do extensive reading. This is a pretty reading intensive class. And across a variety of genres, and we're going to critique what we think is quality literature. And I'm going to introduce you to notable children's authors and also be able to provide you with a variety of activities that accompany quality children's literature. And I just want to read to you the quote at the bottom of page 2 by C.S. Lewis. It's a quote that I agree with and you probably agree with too. I am almost inclined to set it up as a canon or truth. That a children's story which is enjoyed only by children is a bad children's story. The good ones last. And indeed they do. And I want you to reflect on that for the first day of class. I'll talk about that in just a minute. Take a look at page 3. These are the principles of hope that education graduates must prove to the state that they have understood and met by the time they get their teaching certificate. So I want to talk very briefly about the course texts that are required for this class. There are 8+ books that you will need to read, 8 chapter books. The first one is The Girl with the Brown Crayon by Vivian Paley. This is on page 4, if I didn't say that before. This is a nonfiction account of a kindergarten teacher who's very gifted and her year-long work with a particularly gifted student as they read Leo Leone picture books. It's a strange little book, very descriptive, but I think that particularly the teachers will enjoy this book. The next book is The Invention of Hugo Cabret by Brian Selznick. The third book is Mouse, Part 1, A Survivor's Tale. It's called My Father Bleeds History. This is only the first part of Mouse. You do not have to read both, although many students choose to read both because they want to know the rest of the story. When You Reach Me is the next book, followed by The Wednesday Wars by Gary Schmidt. And then the next book is Lincoln, a Photobiography, and then Dead End in Norvelt by Jack Antos. And then the last book that we'll be reading is The Tale of Despereaux. Okay, so we're now on page 5 of the syllabus, and I want to look under attendance and participation. This is very important. You have one absence without penalty. The second absence will be recorded in your student files, and you will have a grade loss of 1% for each absence after the first. Also, I want to note that late papers will only be accepted under unusual circumstances and with prior approval of the professor. Late papers, if accepted, will receive one full grade drop from a B to a C, for example. And this includes reading quizzes. So if you miss a reading quiz, I will let you make it up. I need to kind of understand what you understand about the book, but there will be a one full grade drop for that reading quiz. Also look on page 5 how I break down the learning activities and the projects. I do want to look on page 6 for the final exam choice. You have a choice of 3 options. You can do, if you want to be a teacher, you can do a week-long unit where you're incorporating very good children's literature throughout the week across the various subjects. I can talk about that later. Or you can, you have the option of creating your own children's book, a picture book. It can be a retell of an engaging picture book, or it can be an original story. And I will bring in some examples of what students have created in the past years. Take a look at the bottom of page 6, the evaluation. 40% of your grade will be based on reading quizzes. So that's quite a bit of your grade. You will want to make sure that you read and understand, at a literal level at least, the books that you are reading. 20 points will be an author or illustrator study where you are reading across one author's picture books and you're doing some research on that author's life and what motivates them, etc. 30% of your grade is on the final exam. And then 10% of your grade is on participation. Also take a look on page 7 at the breakdown. A 96 to 100 is an A, and a 95 to a 90 is an A minus, etc. So make sure that you understand that. Then on page 8, I would like to kind of look at what we are doing on class 1, and this is part of watching this video is part of what you'll be doing for class 1. But I also want you to go to Blackboard, where I have posted some questions about your favorite books across 2 time periods in your life, and I want you to respond under the discussions section of Blackboard. That way I can get to know you before I show up for the first class that is in person. The second class, I would like you to go to the library, and on reserve I have a documentary called The Hobart Shakespeareans. I would like you to watch that documentary and take notes after you have watched the second YouTube clip that I'm going to send you. It will be a very brief video on a term called balanced literacy. And then if you take a look through the rest of the syllabus, you'll see that there are rubrics and kind of my requirements in teaching this class. If you have any questions, email me at gritk@spu.edu. I will be in England and then Ireland and then Scotland until that Wednesday that I come back, and that will be the 9th of April. So blessings, and I look forward to meeting all of you soon.